Well, it has been an interesting couple of days and a lot of insight into the idea of getting what you deserve always and also getting what you need always. So, is there a difference or are they the same thing? They are not the same thing exactly, but it's very, very close. When you get what you deserve, it means that you are in the process of accepting your responsibility to save yourself, you see, because you no longer are trusting on the devil in that particular instance. And so you no longer are serving the devil. You de-serve the devil. So you always get what you deserve because you're always in a process of turning away from fear, which is the trust on the devil, because it's a backwards point of view. When you don't trust on God, you trust on fear. It's just the way it is. And you will attempt to block God. You will attempt to block God. When you feel fear about something, it is always your opportunity to understand that you are blocking your own good energy. You are blocking your own good energy. And so, as you discovered, Stephanie, the fear is just a reluctance to experience something. And so when you allowed yourself to experience it and say to yourself, well, what is this today? This is an experience, then I should not block it. I should feel it. I should experience it. Then it went away because fear was the attempt to refuse to walk through that door, you see. It was just saying that door was blocked to you. It was blocked to you. That's all fear is. Fear does not exist as a separate experience, you see. You can never experience fear because fear is not an experience. What you are experiencing is the effort to open the door when you think it's fear. It's just an effort to open the door and experience whatever it is that you were refusing to experience, right? Yes, God, that's true. There were certain things I was refusing to experience, but in order to experience them, I had to say, well, I do say I deserve this today, and then I will experience something. And so, for instance, I won't get into it, but I had an issue the other day, and it was kind of a little what could have been, I could have been a bit troublesome issue, and physically for me, in my physical reality in my body. And initially, I felt fear uh, because it related to my overall health. And then I said, well, I deserve this today. And so I experienced it. I said, I'll just experience it because I deserve it. I wouldn't have this experience if I didn't deserve it. So I'm just going to experience it today. And so although it was some effort to unblock the feelings. I just sat with it and tried to explore it and to feel it in my body, whatever it was, to say, what is this? Where is it? And sometimes you can't really feel it in your body very well when you first start looking. And then you begin to feel your physical form. And you realize it's just nothing at all. It's nothing at all. It's just some kind of momentary sensation that goes away. And so everything worked out okay. It wasn't that big a deal in the end, that particular incident. And so I came through it. And so I said, well, that's pretty interesting that I was blocking my ability to just trust that God has it in hand, that whatever, I didn't need to worry about what was going to happen to me, even if it was painful or prolonged issue. I just had to trust that I deserved it. And as soon as you trust that you deserve it, then you face it and you say, I'll just experience this feeling. I will experience this feeling right this moment. What does it feel like to have this fear of prolonged injury, basically, in one way or another? And uh, and so when I was facing these things, and there was another thing I faced in my emotional life, you might say. And when I faced these things, it was like saying I couldn't find the fear. I kept looking for it, but all I found were these sensations when I kept digging. Simple sensations. They weren't even painful, they were just sensations. And, that was my experience of accepting that I deserve whatever I get. And I suppose you could say if you have something happen that makes you feel really good, you deserve that too. And you deserve the devil if you say, well, sometimes people are afraid to feel the vibration of love. Well, maybe that's the total key. We're always afraid of feeling the vibration of love in one way or another. That we love every feeling we have. We love every thought we have. Just stand back and love it, no matter what it is. And so that was my understanding of deserving. Then I also got the feeling of having come through something. I've heard before that you always give us what we need. So turning that around, that means that whatever we're getting is what we need. It's not just saying to God, hey, God, I need this, and expecting God to give it to you. God is already giving you what you need. Always, always. And so when you turn to God and you say, I need this, as I did with something, with a little trepidation about saying it because I didn't, I had some blockages to saying it. It was whether, it was my right to say it or not, that I need this. And it was an indication that different forces were coming together to release what was going on because I no longer needed it. The very fact that you no longer need it opens up the space for you to need something different, which could be just the end of that. You need the end of the experience that you were having. It's a little bit convoluted, but so that was my experience. But could you explain to me the difference? Yes, very definitely. You have been making great progress in understanding what it is to deserve what you receive. And to understand this, you have to understand that your experience as a physical form is your trust on life. It's your trust on life. Even those who go to heaven trust on an experience with a physical form. You've probably heard stories about those in heaven who continue life as if they were on earth in a certain way. And some have a more expansive experience than others. Some experience life in a very contracted way when they come to heaven. And they come back and say, well, I met my dad in heaven today. How do you meet your dad in heaven if you are not experiencing yourself in a physical way? It is the ability to translate your experience into physicality that makes it significant, you see. And even if you say, well, I walked right through doors and walls and I saw my father as a brilliant light, even though I knew it was my father, you see, you're still experiencing something. You're still experiencing something. You're experiencing it from a different point of view. You're experiencing it from an energetic point of view rather than a strictly physical point of view. But the energy that tells you that this is your dad is your ability to trust on the physical experience of being the son of a man on earth, you see. And when your grandmother comes to you and says, hey, I'm your grandmother, and you say, well, I don't remember you because you died before I was born, you still trust on her as having been a woman on earth who had to have been there for you to be born. And this is a deep trust on life, you see, because life, as you know it, could not exist without physical experience, you see. And so when you block the physical experience of your reality, which comes to you through your senses, you see, then you cease to function as a member of society. You become a dead heap of shit because you're so afraid you cower from the very life that you are living, you see. And that just is impossible to comprehend in a rational way. It's impossible to comprehend in a rational way how that which lives can be so afraid of life that it will take its own life away, because that's what you do when you cower in fear today. Okay, so you cower in fear, you're cowering in the devil. Yes, you are the devil's tool, because the devil is the one that says to you, you must not be worthy of life, you see. You must not be worthy of life. And so you block the experiences of life, you see, because the devil is the trust on nothing, you see. It's the trust on nothing. And nothing can be worthy of anything. That's right. Nothing can be worthy of anything, Stephanie, because it's nothing to do with me. Okay. So you deserve what you get, because it's always deserving the devil. But when you have fear of something, you're deserving of it, right? No, you're not deserving of the fear. You're deserving of the experience that comes to you. Because the minute you accept the experience that comes to you, it will pass away and be replaced by another experience, you might say, that will play out in a different way. Because once you experience something, it tends to dissipate its energy in order to return to you in a new way. And so, if, for example, you're afraid of your father, that your father might harm you because he's very, very angry at you because you took the family car and smashed it up, then you will be afraid to experience his anger, you see? And so you run and hide and say, I can't face my dad today because he's going to be so mad. He's going to clobber me. And you don't want to have that experience. But if you say, well, I'll face my dad today, and I'll say, Dad, I'm really sorry. I take responsibility for what I did today, and I'm going to find a way to pay for all the repairs you see. If there are any chores you want me to do to make up for it, I'm here for you because I blew it. I just blew it when I took the car without your permission, you see, and I didn't know that there was a problem with the brakes. And because I took the car without permission, you never told me that you were not driving the car until you could figure out how to get it to the mechanic so they could check out the brakes, you see. And so I created a crash because I lied to you when I took the car without your permission because you trusted on me. And a failure to ask permission when it's required of you is the same as a lie, you see. It is an attempt to escape from your own responsibility to be trustworthy with your father. And so you run away. But those who stand up to their father and say, I'm sorry for what I did do because I understand that now there's a problem. Now there's a problem because the car is smushed up and it's going to take a lot more than a little brake work to get it back to new. And so you accept the experience that comes to you. And if your dad clobbers you, you say, well, I deserved it today. I deserved it for today. And that means that you are accepting the consequences of what you did do. You're accepting the consequences of what you did do. And what are the consequences? The consequences are the feelings that come to you. And so if your dad clobbers you, you experience it as a reality. And if you refuse to experience it, you block it and say, I'm too afraid to experience getting clobbered today, so I'm going to run away. Then your dad will probably track you down and clobber you anyway. And so you need to accept responsibility for what you do. And then you won't be serving the devil. You see, you won't be serving fear. You will be serving your responsibility for your own actions, you see. Okay, I'm going to have to unpack that, trying to figure out why I had fear of certain things. So I'm going to have to unpack that one to what I'm running away from, consequences of my own actions. So I'll have to unpack that at some point, maybe with your help. And let it simmer a bit. But what about, so that's what you deserve. What about, so if you deserve an award, let's say, because were the best soccer player or you painted the best picture or whatever, how is that deserving the devil? Well, you have certain feelings, and if you experience them, you'll get through it and they'll go away and things will go on. Some people are afraid of experiencing the physical sensations that come with getting the prize for having painted the best picture or whatever it is, because they think that it is a lack of modesty and therefore they'll have to be punished for it. You see, if they experience the feelings that come to them when they say, well, I deserve that prize today. I deserve that prize today. It is the consequence of what I did do. And so they fight it. And the result is that they live in fear of experiencing the consequences of getting what they deserve. You see, it works both ways and it will haunt you until you accept it, you see. So, am I hiding from what I deserve? Yes, of course. So, my fear of something that has to do with talking to you. Yes, trying to unpack that one too. The prize for you is that you get to be the one who has redeemed your energy on saving humanity. So you just say, well, this is what it feels like to save humanity, and let it be. Let it be. You don't have to hang on to it. You don't have to hide from it. You just say, well, this is the way we save humanity today. And it is the consequences of everything I did do and say and all the choices I made along the way. And then it'll be over and you will continue to trust on me because you did not hide from me and say, well, I better not experience that today because God will not like me if he thinks that I am the one who trusts on saving humanity, you see. All right, so let me think what it feels like to save humanity. I'll have to spend some time with that. Okay, so what about um, the you got what you deserve, you always get what you need. I've sort of accepted in life that I got what I needed in order to grow. But Is that what that's about? Yes, absolutely. You get what you need in order to grow. And so, in order to grow, you sometimes have to be the one that deserves to get clobbered, you see. So you get clobbered and you say, well, that was okay. I got clobbered today because it helps me to see that clobbering can be kind of unpleasant, you see. And I don't want to clobber another. So I'll just not be the one who thinks that I have to treat others that way. And that's all there is to that, you see. It's just about experience. It's about the lesson that you get when you experience reality. All right, so you always give us the lesson we need. Yes. Wherever stage we're in. Yes. Tyler, can I have a little bit of